Hello and welcome back to Hollywood Cine Mysteries. Today, we're diving into the fascinating and controversial story behind one of Hollywood's most unusual video game adaptations, the 1994 movie Street Fighter. At first glance, Street Fighter may look like just another action film based on a popular video game. But behind the explosions, martial arts battles, and colorful characters lies a story filled with production chaos, unexpected controversies, personal struggles, and a legacy that nobody saw coming. When Street Fighter was announced in the early 1990s, expectations were incredibly high. The video game was already a worldwide phenomenon, with millions of fans eagerly waiting to see their favorite fighters brought to life on the big screen. Hollywood believed it had found the perfect formula for success. The film was directed by Stephen E. D'Souza, a screenwriter known for blockbuster action movies. The story followed Colonel Guile, played by action superstar Jean-Claude Van Damme, as he led an international force against the ruthless dictator General M. Bison. With a production budget of around $35 million, the studio invested heavily in the project. The movie eventually earned nearly $100 million worldwide, which sounds impressive. However, after marketing expenses and other costs were considered, it wasn't the massive success the studio had hoped for. One of the biggest attractions was Jean-Claude Van Damme himself. At the height of his fame, he reportedly earned around $8 million for the role. His star power was expected to guarantee success, but behind the scenes, things weren't going as smoothly as they appeared. As filming began in Thailand and Australia, the production quickly faced numerous challenges. Tight schedules, script revisions, and logistical problems created constant pressure on the cast and crew. Some reports even suggested that the production was struggling to stay on track. Adding to the difficulties were disagreements about how closely the movie should follow the original video game. Fans wanted a faithful adaptation, while the filmmakers wanted a broader action-adventure story that would appeal to general audiences. This creative conflict would eventually become one of the movie's biggest criticisms. Many fans were disappointed by the changes made to beloved characters. Some fighters looked different from their video game counterparts, while others received completely altered backstories. As a result, the movie often felt disconnected from the source material that inspired it. But perhaps the most remarkable story behind Street Fighter belongs to the actor who played General M. Bison. Raul was one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. Unknown to many viewers at the time, he was battling stomach cancer while filming the movie. His health was rapidly declining, and physically he was far weaker than he appeared on screen. Yet despite his condition, Julia remained committed to the project. According to several accounts, one of the main reasons he accepted the role was because his children loved the Street Fighter video game. Wanting to be part of something they enjoyed, he decided to take the role even while facing a serious illness. His dedication amazed those around him. Day after day, he arrived on set and delivered a performance full of energy, charisma, and unforgettable presence. Even critics who disliked the movie often praised Julia's portrayal of General M. Bison. Sadly, Street Fighter became his final film role. Before the movie was released, Raul Julia passed away. His death added a deeply emotional layer to the film's legacy, transforming what could have been just another action movie into a tribute to an actor's incredible commitment to his craft. As if that wasn't enough, the production was surrounded by rumors and controversies. Reports surfaced about constant script changes and difficulties during filming. Some cast members later hinted that the production environment was far more chaotic than audiences realized. When Street Fighter finally hit theaters in December 1994, the reaction was mixed. Critics were largely unimpressed. Many felt that the story lacked depth and that the film failed to capture the spirit of the beloved video game series. Reviews were often harsh, and some publications even listed it among the year's biggest disappointments. For a while, it seemed as though Street Fighter would simply fade into Hollywood history. But something unexpected happened. As the years passed, audiences began revisiting the movie with a different perspective. What was once criticized for being over the top and ridiculous started to become part of its charm. Fans began appreciating its unique style, memorable one-liners, colorful characters, and unapologetically fun action sequences. Gradually, Street Fighter earned something few failed movies ever achieve: cult status. However, There is one more fascinating chapter in the Street Fighter story that many people rarely discuss. After the film's release, several cast members reflected on their experience working on the project. Despite the production difficulties, many described the atmosphere as surprisingly passionate. The cast came from different countries, different acting backgrounds, and even different martial arts disciplines. Bringing all of these personalities together was never going to be easy, but it created a unique energy that can still be felt on screen today. Interestingly, some of the movie's most memorable moments were not originally expected to become iconic. Lines delivered by Raul Julia as General M. Bison, especially his dramatic speeches and theatrical confidence, have become legendary among fans. Decades later, clips of his performance continue to be shared online, introducing new generations to a film released long before many of them were born. The movie also played an important role in Hollywood's history with video game adaptations. During the 1990s, filmmakers were still trying to figure out how to translate interactive games into successful movies. Street Fighter became one of the early examples that showed just how difficult that challenge could be. In many ways, its mistakes helped future studios understand what audiences wanted from video game films. Today, the legacy of Street Fighter is far more complicated than its original reviews suggested. It is remembered not only as an action movie, but as a fascinating blend of ambition, chaos, nostalgia, and determination. What began as a critically criticized adaptation has evolved into a cultural curiosity that refuses to be forgotten. And perhaps that's the true legacy of Street Fighter. Not that it was perfect, but that it survived, endured, and somehow found a second life with audiences who learned to appreciate it for exactly what it was, a bold, unforgettable piece of 1990s movie history. Today, many fans view it as a fascinating time capsule from the 1990s. Its most memorable scenes continue to circulate online, and General M. Bison's performance remains one of the most quoted aspects of the film. Perhaps that is the greatest mystery surrounding Street Fighter. How did a movie criticized by reviewers become a beloved cult classic decades later? Maybe the answer lies in its imperfections. Maybe it's the passion of the cast. Or perhaps it's the unforgettable final performance of Raul Julia, whose dedication elevated the film far beyond its flaws. Some movie historians even wonder what might have happened if Raul Julia had been healthy during production, and if the filmmakers had been given more time to refine the story. Could Street Fighter have become one of the greatest video game movies ever made? We'll never know. What we do know is that Street Fighter remains one of Hollywood's most fascinating examples of a movie that refused to disappear. Despite criticism, despite controversy, and despite its troubled production, the film continues to be discussed more than 30 years after its release. And that, perhaps, is the biggest mystery of all. Thank you for watching Hollywood Cine Mysteries. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another hidden Hollywood story. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the mysteries behind the movies.